Welcome to today's explainer. You know, if you've ever watched a handball match and just marveled at the sheer speed, the agility, the absolute teamwork on display, well, you're exactly where you need to be. Today, we're taking a standard textbook chapter on fundamental handball skills, and we're totally transforming it into your active, dynamic playbook. Whether you're stepping onto the court for the very first time or you're just looking to brush up on those core mechanics, we're going to break down everything you need to know to master this incredible sport. Here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to kick things off with the handball basics, move right into passing and catching, step up to dribbling and shooting, hold the line by playing goalkeeper, and then finally bring it all together in becoming court kings. Let's jump in. Section 1. The handball basics. Getting ready to play. So before we even start throwing the ball around, it's absolutely crucial to understand what handball actually is, right? It's a fast-paced, invasive team sport. And when I say invasive, I mean you're actively pushing into your opponent's territory to score. But it's definitely not just about running and throwing. The whole foundation is built on 3 core pillars. First, we learn through play. Interactive games are literally the best way to grasp these mechanics. Second, this is a full body workout. It's going to massively build your hand-eye coordination, your physical strength, and your cardiovascular endurance. And third, and honestly maybe the most important, is team spirit. You just can't win a handball game alone. It requires total 100% support from everyone on the roster, which builds real-world trust and those split-second communication skills. Just think about what that team spirit looks like in action. Offense in handball is all about constantly moving the ball, passing, dribbling, trying to find that one perfect angle to shoot and score. But the absolute second you lose possession, your mindset has to flip. Boom, defense. Suddenly, it's all about anticipating their passes, blocking shots, and intercepting the ball. It is just continuous, explosive action. All right, let's move on to Section 2, passing and catching, the foundation. Now, the source material throws a really interesting circle time reflection our way here. Think about this for a second. How exactly does the point of release change your throw? Well, if you throw the ball from the medial line of your body, meaning right down your center, versus throwing it from the side, the power, the trajectory, the accuracy, they're completely different. A centered release gives you way more balance and directional control. Keeping that little detail in mind is going to instantly upgrade your passing game. But hey, a great pass is totally useless without a great catch, right? So let's break down the perfect catching form into 3 quick actionable steps. Step 1, catch the ball with your wrists loose and your fingers firm, really using the pad of your palm. You definitely don't want to try and catch it with stiff, rigid hands. Step 2, actively step closer to the ball as it comes towards you to close that distance. Don't just stand there and wait for it. And step 3, as the ball makes contact, bend those elbows and bring your hands slightly back towards your body. You're basically acting like a shock absorber to minimize the force of the pass. That's what stops the ball from just bouncing right off your hands. Here's another quick mental rep for you. Just how crucial is eye-hand coordination for catching? Honestly, it's vital. You literally cannot physically catch what you aren't visually tracking. Your eyes are telling your brain exactly how fast that ball is moving and where it's going to land, which then tells your loose wrists and your bent elbows exactly when to react. To actually put this into practice, the material gives us this brilliant, super high-energy lead-up game called Say and Catch. Here's how it works. You form a circle. You throw the ball and loudly yell out a teammate's name. They have to instantly track it, step into it, and absorb that force. If they drop it, bam, they're out. It's such a fantastic high-pressure way to simulate a real game while nailing down those essential catching mechanics. All right, stepping it up to Section 3, dribbling and shooting, making your move. So once you've got passing and catching down, you need to know how to advance the ball completely on your own. For improved control, the textbook points out a crucial detail here. You have to hold and dribble the handball using just your fingertips rather than slapping at it with the flat palm of your hand. That fingertip control gives you the sheer precision you need to navigate around defenders. And when it finally comes time to shoot, well, after you release the ball, you absolutely must continue the motion with your arm. That follow-through is essentially the secret sauce for directing the ball right into the goal. Let's look at how this builds in an actual game scenario. A skilled thrower really has to anticipate the defender's footwork and gestures to dodge them successfully. You're not just reacting, you're predicting. And once you create that little pocket of space and execute your dodge, you bring the ball up, maintain that fingertip control we just talked about, and prep their shot. To really lock this into your muscle memory, you're going to run the classic dribble and shoot routine. It's a structured sequence. You start by dribbling along a chosen path right toward the goal. As you close in, you evaluate the defense and select your absolute best shooting technique. You take your shot with a strong follow-through, of course, and then immediately rotate back to the line so the next player can go. Repetition here is the name of the game. We want this sequence to feel completely automatic. And hey, if you want to take your cognitive agility to the next level, like the absolute next level, you've got to try the blindfolded shooter drill. In teams of 2, one player is literally blindfolded while their teammate stands behind them, giving verbal instructions on exactly where the goal is and when to shoot. After 5 attempts, you switch it up. This drill is unbelievable for building deep trust between players and forcing you to internalize the physical space of the court without even relying on your eyes. Moving right along to Section 4, playing goalkeeper, the last line of defense. Look, when the offense breaks through, the goalkeeper is literally the only thing standing between them and a point. The foundational defensive skill here begins with a perfectly centered stance. You've got to take a position at the exact center of the goalpost. Stand straight, keep your feet shoulder-width apart, knees slightly bent, and make sure your weight is distributed right on the balls of your feet. This posture makes it exponentially easier to move quickly and react to a sudden explosive shot. So how do you actively defend that net? Step 1 is all about goal side positioning. You always want to position yourself exactly between the goal and your opponent. Basically, cut off the direct angle. Step 2, as your opponent moves, maintain your balance by taking short, rapid steps. Do not cross your feet, and definitely don't take massive leaps that commit you to one side way too early. And step 3, just remain constantly alert. Be prepared to dart right into the passing or shooting lane to completely shut down their route. Which brings us to a super critical circle time question. How do you decide your hand positions for blocking the ball? Honestly, you have to read the room. By anticipating the trajectory and the speed of the ball based purely on the shooter's body mechanics, you can decide whether you need to go high with both hands, maybe drop a leg down, or just stretch out wide. It's basically a high-speed game of physical chess. And here is a pretty wild trivia fact from the chapter to add some flavor to all this fast-paced action. 17. Because handball moves so ridiculously fast, the officials actually rely on 17 different specific hand signals just to instantly communicate their decisions on fouls, goals, and violations across a super noisy court. Crazy, right? To forge a goalie who can actually handle that level of chaos, we use the rapid fire drill. The defender stands in the goal area while multiple attackers line up right outside. For 1 to 2 grueling minutes, the shooters take turns firing rapid, continuous shots from all different angles. The defender has to block, recover that center stance instantly, and then block again. It is hands down the ultimate test of a goalie's reaction time and mental endurance. Finally, we've reached Section 5, becoming court kings, bringing it all together. This right here is the assimilation phase of our playbook. You've drilled the passing, you've mastered that fingertip dribble, and you've survived the rapid-fire goal shots. Now, we form balanced teams and play small-sided, highly competitive games. You have to execute all those mechanics we just talked about under real game pressure. The stakes are pretty straightforward. Score goals to get points, defend effectively to deny them, and the winning team, they stay on the court to face the next set of challengers. And the ultimate goal of this assimilation session? The team that successfully rotates through the challengers and scores the most points overall earns the ultimate, triumphant title presented in the textbook, King of the Court. We've taken the concepts right off the page and turned them into a structured, real-world plan for dominance. We've covered the fluid teamwork, the exact mechanics of a shock-absorbing catch, the fingertip control required for a killer offensive run, and that balanced, rapid step stance of an elite goalkeeper. So, now that you know the playbook inside and out, are you ready to step onto the court and claim your crown? Thanks so much for hanging out for this explainer, and I will see you on the court.